Hi Taurus, welcome to your January 2019 love reading. It's Raina. So I had to stop over because of interference. And so the heart of the matter is the Strength card. When I get this card, I think of somebody that has to really maybe have endured something that was very trying, very challenging. And this card connects to Leo. It can mean that you are much more confident now because of what you've been through. And let me just pick up this card because this is at the foundation of the reading, the Wheel of Fortune. Maybe you've had some success in your life and that has raised your confidence. And you're feeling that you can do it, that you have the ability to do what you put your mind to, what you set your mind to. Maybe this is career matters are really good right now, and it's just your love life that is a hot mess. And the fact that you are doing so well career-wise is giving you a sense of confidence, and maybe that's making you a lot less willing to take somebody's crap. And that's not uncommon. Nobody can give you self-esteem. But what they can do, any situation in your life or another person, they can show you or celebrate the great things about you, and then that helps you. So they reflect all the good things within you. This could be the person who's problematic, and whether you're with them now or if you've recently been with them, they might still be connected to you with a child. The King of Pentacles in the challenge position could be like the father of your child. And even if you've split up, you still have to deal with them. And they might be a narcissist and they use the child to try to, get back at you. And they might not give you child support even though they can afford it. This might be a very materialistic person who, even though you're an earth sign, and they might be too, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, they might just feel like everything is for sale, everything has a price. And you might disagree with that. You might think that that's wrong to think like that. They may be very greedy and stingy, and you feel like those are really bad qualities that people should share, and they should be generous, and they're not like that. And so you may have already had problems with this individual, and now it's almost like hitting the jackpot with the Wheel of Fortune. You have your own money, perhaps, and you feel a sense of independence, and so you don't need this person anymore. Another thing, too, is that if this was your boss and you were afraid that if you didn't have a relationship with them, that they would somehow turn it against you, really, they can't do that because you have either maybe you've gone to a different company and gotten a better job, or you just have for some reason, you have other options that you can take advantage of. So you're not worried about them firing you. You might have even left yourself. The higher message is the 9 of Wands. So this is a card of having boundaries. So this is about maybe even in the future. But I think it could even be now, because this person could come back. And this happens a lot with narcissists, I think, where they might even ghost you. They might just leave and not tell you why, and all of a sudden they're gone, and you're scratching your head. And what's happening is that they are seeking new supply. They found somebody else that they can bamboozle. But then eventually, when they've sucked that person dry, they're going to come back to you. And you might be flattered, and you might be saying, oh, they saw the light, they couldn't live without me. And then you take them back, and not knowing that it's all about them. It's really not about you. a person like this, whenever I see like a king that is in a like a reversed position or a challenging position, I think of a narcissist, because it's like the world revolves around them and what their needs are. And when they're done with somebody, they're done. And then when they need them again, they call them up. But it's not about the other person. And some of them who are very crafty can really fake that they care. They can fake caring and stuff like that and make you think they really give a damn. But you still should be wary about it, because they could very easily be lying, because that's what they do. That's what they do best. So the Nine of Wands is about having boundaries, not allowing yourself to allow anything to go on. You know, you must have an insult level. You must have certain things that if somebody crosses those boundaries, that you will not accept in your life. And even if you've already accepted them in the past, it doesn't mean that you can't set new boundaries. But I feel, you know, this card is also known as like having, you know, the last stand, where somebody may come back into your life who you thought was gone forever, and then you are tempted to go back with them too. After you've already gotten stronger, you know. So on the more practical level, we have the Magician card, and this is a card of self-empowerment. Here's that 8, and that's the 8 of the Strength card. You see, but it's the infinity symbol. And self-sufficiency, the Magician has all the elements it needs. And this is a card of relying on yourself, and relying on yourself for everything. If you feel lonely, understanding that a truly lonely person is going to feel lonely even in a relationship, because they may have trouble with intimacy. They may have trouble with being close to someone, and yet they complain of loneliness, and they can't open themselves up to others. That is the cause of their loneliness. It's not because they don't have a certain person in their life. You can be alone and not be lonely, right? And you can be with somebody and be lonely. So being with another person is not going to necessarily rid you of loneliness. And that's the first thing to understand. The Magician card is about self-reliance. The more you can rely on yourself to fulfill your emotional needs, to nourish yourself, the less likely you are going to be to accept a substandard relationship. That's just the bottom line. And cultivating that self-reliance is so important. So what's coming in is represented by the 7 of Wands, and this is a card of standing your ground. So again, if somebody comes back into your life who has left and maybe even turned your life upside down, now you've gotten stronger and all of a sudden they're back. Well, isn't that a coincidence? Now all of a sudden they are back. This is when the narcissist loves to come back, is when you're strong, because then they can try to weaken you again. So you have to be, you know, the 9 of Wands is being wary of intruders, you know, that kind of person is standing vigil, the sentinel. And you have to do that with your own heart. You can't allow somebody to turn your life upside down anymore. But that starts with you. And so it's a self-protective measure. And that's what the 7 of Wands is as well. It's like fending off some attack. And it doesn't even mean that there's a literal attack. It could just mean that you're perceiving somebody coming in and maybe acting all charming again. And not even, if this is somebody who left, they may not even acknowledge that they left. And they just expect you to not even question them about it and just get on with things. And that's how you know that they're full of it, because they are really not being straight about their intentions or about what they have done. And that is not okay. Just because they think that they have the right to do whatever they want to do doesn't mean that they do have the right. But it's up to you to stand your ground and to believe in yourself enough to think that you're worth fighting for. The outcome is the Six of Pentacles. So because you're Earth, you're going to see things in these terms. And so this is apropos, but you see the person's holding a scale. So he is giving to another because he thinks it's fair, because he's in a position to give. And they don't have enough, and he thinks, I can give of myself. It really represents exchange of energy. So Taurus, if you find that in relationships you're the one that's always giving and somebody else is always taking, you may decide that you deserve better than that, and you're going to be more conscious in the future of people who are all too willing to take from you and not to give back to the relationship. And that may be all it takes to attract healthy relationships, because that King of Pentacles could be somebody who was really a taker. And even if what they were taking was primarily financial resources, they may not have had anything. They could have given emotionally, and they probably didn't anyway. So it was unfair altogether. And you certainly deserve better. So I'm going to pick a card from the Whispers of Love deck that I recently ordered. And we'll see what that one says. Do something for someone else. Give your attention to someone else. So, and you see here that she's giving it to a rabbit or rabbits. So it doesn't have to be a human being. But love is something that if you are wanting it, are you capable of giving it without having it in return? That's a big question, because a lot of times, like I said before, if you're not self-reliant when it comes to love, you may be kind of like a chicken with its head cut off, where it's running from, kind of randomly around looking for love, no discrimination, because it's just going on impulse. And the thing is that the more that you can be love for somebody else, the more that you can generate it for yourself. That's one of the paradoxes in life, is that the people that are the most needy of love, they're the ones that I think love tends to elude, because they really are not looking. It's kind of a selfish quest, because they're really just looking to get filled up themselves, and they have nothing to give another person. They feel so empty inside, and they would be better off trying to cultivate giving to others before they are trying to receive it themselves. But that's not how a lot of people work. That this is one area in life where a lot of people, they have very deep wounds, and the idea of being loved is so central to their being that they make it their number one priority in life, and therefore they can have some of the worst relationships as a result. Learning how to nourish yourself, or as a magician, rely on yourself, is to me way more valuable than being in hot pursuit of finding a relationship. Relationships will find you if you have found yourself, I think. Okay, Taurus, that's what I have for you. So if you would like a personal reading, the link will be below. I hope that you have a wonderful January. Take care. Bye.